Okay, guys, it's been a while. Busy times and stuff. So today I just want to go over this project with you guys that was made for a while now, but I just realized that I never really made a production video for it. So let's just go straight into it, man. So this project is essentially this one here.
But you don't have the right. She wants to serve. But you don't have the right. Another man will wait for you.
About like roughly 44 tracks. Yeah. I mean, not all 44 are playing at the same time, but it's, yeah, 44 tracks, man. Yeah, 44 tracks. Don't do the things that I do. Don't do the things I do. Okay, so we have this. Now, let's just go through the tracks one by one. So the first track we have is this. So usually sometimes what I do, I just stick in like one key in one key, and I manipulate my master pitch to like find whichever key that I want, and I just leave it there sometimes. Or I do it the old classic way, just transpose manually, Anything is anything. It's production, There's no set rules. We just do what we think is best or what is best, And then so track one is just like my normal groove, and I have like this EQ on it, cutting out unnecessary frequencies that I don't want, which is high ends, because I don't want too much high ends in this particular rhythm, and in the low ends, But a lot of it also has to do with my headphones, because of how clear quality my headphones are. Before, like certain frequencies that I wouldn't pick up on before, it's a lot easier to pick up on them now, and I realize like some rhythms just have like too much high frequencies and stuff like that, Then when we go to the cowbell, I also do the same thing for the cowbell actually. I'm just dulling it down, You get less sharp. Then I have this song right here. Usually when I use these songs, I only want like the body of it, like the low end, just to like boom, boom, boom in the rhythm, Then I have my MB Mega Toy doing the same thing. And I do a lot more cutting on it actually, as you can see. And I added like a little bit of beef, just giving it like analog character. This as well, give it some analog character. Then the E-bass, I do a lot of cutting as well, and analog character. It's because, because of the low end, the fact that I want the low end from it, I did a lot of the particular like analog emulation is in order to get more of that low end song, because with the digital sound it's a lot more lightweight, whereas analog has that beefy song to it. So this is why I give the analog feels. Yeah, so this is something you guys know, like I sometimes use snares in my tracks to give that a little bit of drive, but they are usually very, very low, like here. And I also do some cutting on them. Then we go into like the sample production, the different layers of samples. we have this. Yeah, this should just be this right here. Yeah, so this is an empty track. You know, when you move things around, sometimes you don't really focus on this kind of stuff. So yeah, it's actually 43 tracks. And then, so this is actually layered. And then we have this little song right here. Along with others. So let's just go to the leads for now. The leads is like I think the only place that I did any like additional production is on this one channel right here. Yeah, this one right here, which is like chorus, filter, and EQ. The rest, I didn't do any production on them. No. So it's just this one, you know? And then for the secondary pattern, we have the pools, which is the main song. So you can see here, like one is in like the fifth octave category range, and the other one is actually pitched down. Like if you look here, you can see like this one is pitched down, whereas this one is pitched up. I just did them into different areas, so it looks like the same, but once I copy and paste it over, it automatically goes down an octave, you know. And because I did that, like I panned the one more to the left and one more to the right, so the higher one is more to the left and the lower pitched one is more to the right, which gives me more stereo field and makes everything have its own space, you know. So as you can see, this is the same melody, just utilizing different keys, you know. and then I get everything going into like this bus. I brought it up right now for the volume, but initially it's going to go at 12 decibels, which is just volume control, you know. So I know where the volume control is at, and then when I send it over, at least I can be like, okay, well, this is at 12 decibels, and it's a lot easier for the guys over at the band to bring up the volume and match volume normalize and stuff, you know. But mainly for myself, that I can keep track of the different volume levels, what is high, what is low, you know, stuff like that. So I just have like the basic stuff, which is like the first volume control to bring down everything to like close to like 12 dB. And I can start like doing I do my first clipping. To get like minor stuff. Then I do my analog processing, which is to fatten things up. For the analog processing, then my last layer of volume control, which is just a limiter. A limiter is essentially a compressor. So actually, if you like use it in this kind of way, it acts as a limiter / compressor, you know. You know, sometimes if a compressor is like the compressor, you can't really tell it, okay, that's the level that I want it to stay at, you know. Most of the times, like, you need to like adjust it to stay at that level and make sure that the loudest hit that it gets is at that level if it's not consistent, you know. But with the limiter, if I set it at 12 dB, no matter what song that comes down, it's going to automatically adjust it to make that 12, you know. So this is what I use it for. Another way I could do it is use a flatliner, but a clipper, yeah. A clipper is more of like, it just cuts it there, you know. It doesn't adjust the volume or anything, whereas the limiter actually does some compression. So while the limiter is doing some compression, the clipper would not do that compression, you know. So it's not that I just want to like take up the top. I want to balance off the volume. So this is why I choose to use the limiter instead of the clipper, because it gives me not complete balancing, because it only deals with like the little bit of additional song that's coming through, but I just wanted to attack that little bit of extra volume, you know. And this is just like my high end to like boost when I'm making a Riddim, so I can hear how high the high ends would song. Because some of the times for some of the bands, the engineering, when they play live, they would like boost up the high ends to get that drive going. So in order to have good control over the high end frequencies, I always do this kind of stuff, you know. But yeah, so this is just basically what I have going. So as you can see, although it's like 43 samples, I mean, probably like you got like, right now you have about like -2, 3, 4, 5, 6, -6 of them. You got like 37 samples playing right now altogether. Some of them is like layering, so it's like this is like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's layered. It's a layered. So it's just playing the same melody and just making a whole new song, because like all this coming together is a new song on their own, you know. So besides the layering, all of the instruments, they have their own time, they have their own place, you know. So it doesn't sound noisy or like busy, because while there is like 40 something instruments going on, 40 something samples going on, they all have their place and time, you know. So once again, guys, this was the track. Nice, simple, and yeah, this was it.